Hello, bonjour, namaste, ni hao, and ohio, everybody. What is going on? It is Gale here. Welcome back to the YouTube channel once again for another Danmachi anime video. And today, we are here with official confirmation that the 10th anniversary anime project is going to be announced on the 4th of April. Yes, they've officially come out with the information that they're going to be talking about the new upcoming project on the 4th of April. They've given us this image for the 10th anniversary as well, the 10th anniversary of the Danmachi anime. Let's translate this page really quickly and go over exactly what's coming up. And also in this video, we're going to be reading a letter from Omori sensei for, of course, the release of season 5 and, of course, the culmination of season 5 and what's to come as well. So let's go through it together. April 4th, 2025 marks the 10th anniversary of the anime Danmachi. Commemorative logo unveiled. So, of course, if you guys weren't aware, April 4th, 2015 is when the anime aired 10 years ago. Now, of course, first and foremost, I'd like to say this. I personally would have liked and preferred if season 5 had released as the 10th anniversary thing on, as in like it released during the period in which, of course, it aired 10 years ago. Spring 2025, April 4th. It would have been amazing. It would have been amazing timing. It would have given, of course, JC staff time as well and whatnot. But of course, alas, that's not what we got. And as a result, we got what we got. Of course, that's coming for another video. Again, cut contents and everything will be coming over the next few days. Cut contents, final season review, and so on and so forth. Let's talk about what's going to be coming up in the future of Danmachi. Let's let the past be the past. Let's focus on the future right now. So, of course, with the upcoming anniversary project, we've obviously come up with so many different ideas, but I think there's also one more idea that somebody suggested in my tweet that I made in response to, of course, the project coming up on the 4th of April, the announcement coming up on the 4th of April. Somebody made a reply, Zekrom that is, of course, one of my most common viewers coming on the channel and, of course, watching the videos and everything. He suggested an idea that I personally wouldn't like, but because of the picture, which of course shows Hestia meeting Belle for the very first time and vice versa as well, when Hestia invited Belle to be part of the Familia, there is a possibility for another thing to happen. So we'll come on to that later on in the video when we talk about it. I'm very much looking forward to just the 10th anniversary project in general, man. It's been 10 years of Danmachi's anime. Of course, we celebrated 10 years of the light novel 2 years ago. And it's been amazing to see Danmachi as a series grow so much, for better or for worse. The light novels, the games, the anime, they've been having ups and downs. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, but it has been a pleasure to be part of this journey from effectively the very beginning. Of course, I watched Danmachi season 1 when it first came out, but I only really got into it properly with the release of Dan Mimo. But it's good to be a part of this journey nonetheless. It's really good to be a part of this journey. So, as we read earlier on, April 4th will be the 10th anniversary of the anime Danmachi. A commemorative logo has been released ahead of the 10th anniversary. New information related to the 10th anniversary will be released on April 4th, the day the first episode of the first season of the anime aired. Stay tuned. Now, new information. Now, we don't know exactly what the information is. It could be a plethora of things, right? It could be so many different things that who knows what it'll be. Who knows what it'll be. It could be multiple projects. It could be one singular project. We don't really know. Now, ideally, for me personally, I think the best thing to happen is if it is multiple projects. I mean, that would be amazing. Of course, I know that a lot of people will say, well, Gale, we've seen how JC staff has handled one thing. How will they handle multiple things? You know what I mean? And, well, to that, I'd say first and foremost, they can get other studios as well. It's not like, I know they have this close relationship with JC staff, and we've seen it actually with, a certain scientific railgun, magical index, and so on and so forth. It's all kept under the JC staff umbrella. But I don't think it's a bad idea for them to try and go ahead and, give other studios an opportunity to do other projects as well. It would be amazing to see. Now, one thing I want to really quickly do actually while I'm here, I want to just check out what they did with Slime. Reincarnated as a slime. I typed that completely wrong. I just typed in slime. That's it. Let me just check. That time I got reincarnated as a slime because I want to just check one thing about the anime really quickly. So, of course, we had the main series, right? Of course, we had season 1, season 2, and so on and so forth. That was made by 8-bit. but I want to check about Diaries. Diaries was also by 8-Bit. Okay, so again, that's another show that also has kind of done it in under one umbrella. It's unlikely for them to go to different studios, but ideally, if, in my opinion, what they should do is set up 3 new projects, and I'll talk about each project in a second, but give it to different studios. That would be the ideal scenario for me personally. What I would personally do is set up one for being a Stray record. I think there would be one that would be a Stray record because, of course, coming off season 5, the story with Ryu and everything, it would make a lot of sense, right? Season 5 leading into a Stray record would also be a great way to kind of propel Ryu and just generally also Orario into a bit better light in a way. Of course, learning more about the history of these central figures like Otaro, Finn, Garrett, Rivera, Ryu, so on and so forth, right? Also give us an indication into the Zeus and Hera familia as well, leading into future seasons. It'll help a lot, right? A Stray record would be great. Sword Oratoria, of course, would be amazing. I mean, that would be the ideal thing for us to get, to be quite honest, generally speaking, for the 10th anniversary. If it was one singular project that I would go for me personally, as a viewer, as somebody who wishes the people of the fans, the people who watch Danmachi, the people who watch Danmachi generally get to experience, it's Sword Oratoria. And then the third thing would be a movie for the successor to Arrow of Orion in Hades Vesta. Make it a 2-part movie. That would be amazing. 3 projects. It would be absolutely insane. I mean, this is, again, a pipe dream. It's very much a pipe dream, but it would be amazing. Now, like I said, I think it'll probably end up being a Stray record. I think is the likeliest option. That's why I named it first. Sword Oratoria, I still believe, has a second chance. I really do. I do think that they should reboot it, however, if they are going to do it. They could start with season 2 and season 3, but I don't think it's worth it. I think that the name of Sword Oratoria has been... It's not been tainted by any means. I don't think, if you're a fan of Danmachi, it's not been tainted per se, but I do think if you are a new viewer, or if you're a very general, casual viewer to Danmachi, you go and watch the first season of Sword Oratoria, or the only season of Sword Oratoria, and you'll come out very disappointed and also wondering, how is this even Danmachi in the first place, right? So, if they're gonna do Sword Oratoria, they have to do it right. And I would rather they do a reboot than continue on with season 2, because that way you're also gonna be able to give it an opportunity and a second chance to do it right. That's my personal opinion. Ideally, also, it would be a different studio than JC Staff, but alas, you know, we only can get what we can get, so we're gonna have to wait on and see on that front. Of course, like I said, Hades Vesta is also not really a far-fetched option, because again, if they want to do a movie, give more time to the light novel and wait for season 6 and stuff, great opportunity to do so with Hades Vesta. Gives them a little bit of time. Money will be made from, you know, making a movie as well. Movies are doing super well, of course, right, with anime. Not a bad idea to do that as well, right? So those are some options. Now, the idea that Zekrom had, and this is what I personally would say, I wouldn't mind it, but I think because of their announcements and everything, you know, they made the 10th anniversary of the anime a big thing since like last June or July, basically, or August, I think it was. Sorry, it was August. Since last August, it's been a big thing, right? It's been a big thing since last August. I've been talking about it on this channel since August. I think that the idea of doing Goddess Campanella, which is basically a short story that was shown off in Danmimo for the very first time, and in terms of an adaptation in any way, it was in the light novel, of course, as a mini short story, effectively. But Danmimo was the first one to kind of voice it and adapt it in some way, shape, or form. And it's basically a story of everything leading up to Belle and Hestia meeting up for the first time. It shows Belle's entire transition on how he, you know, went from familiar to familiar, couldn't get into any familiar, and so on and so forth. His interactions with a lot of characters that we know already, kind of thing as well. We also saw Hestia freeloading, you know, with Hephaestus, seeing how she was since she came to Earth as well. How she was, you know, living off of and mooching off of Hephaestus, and how, you know, Belle and Hestia meet together. The only reason I personally would dislike that is, again, like I said, they've hyped this up way too much, and it's the 10th anniversary. Just doing Goddess Campanella would be kind of to me, to be quite honest. Fine if it's an add-on thing, you're doing a mini episode on top of whatever else you're doing, But it as its own thing, no. I personally disagree. I don't think that would be a good idea at all. Personally, I think a lot of people will be very disappointed, in my personal opinion. And as much as I love Goddess Campanella, it was great mini story to read. It's not something I would personally say is worthy of a 10th anniversary project. That's just my take. Also, on top of that, we kind of already have seen Belle meeting Hestia in the anime. Yes, we didn't get the full thing like what we got in Goddess Campanella, but we did get a majority of what we want to see or need to see in the anime already, you know, Belle meeting Hestia. So IMO, I'd personally say that it personally wouldn't be a good idea for me personally. I'd pass on it big time. But I don't know. You guys can let me know if you guys would like to see that as a mini thing. And as the only thing for the 10th anniversary, personally, I would say no. I know he suggested it. I should mention that Zekrom didn't suggest it out of his, you know, out of just nothing, basically. He suggested it because of the 10th anniversary picture, or commemorative photo, or logo. I can see it. I can see that. But the thing is, for me personally, the logo doesn't really give away much, purely because it's, well, I mean, that is kind of, you know, representing the first time Belle and Hestia met 10 years ago, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I feel like it's one of those things where it's more of a nostalgic picture of like what happened 10 years ago, and, you know, from how they met 10 years ago to now, basically, you know, how times have changed. That's my personal opinion. So that is what I think of the 10th anniversary project. Now, we're only a month away. We'll find out in about a month's time as to what exactly we're going to be getting. April 4th, not too far away. When is April 4th? It is a Friday. I'm hoping that's my day off, because I can then actually, you know, talk about the episode and talk about what's coming up without having to worry about missing the information while I'm at work. We'll have to wait and see on that front. But anyways, let's move over to, of course, this letter by Omori Sensei, of course, right? I have it translated here, so I'm going to just read over it. Freya, the goddess who appears in Norse mythology, bestows love on many beings and is loved by many people. But perhaps she never experienced love, quote unquote. When I was researching mythology, that was how I initially read it. You can love and be loved. Is it really possible to have never been in love? There might be. Because they are more selfish and somewhat inconvenient than humans. Because she is a goddess who has to love everyone. Maybe we've left behind the idea of having special feelings for one person, like we did when we were in middle school. Freya means love and Seer means romance. The tale of Seer is about Freya, who has long been tired of love, but then falls in love. That is the goddess of fertility episode. I think so, is what he says. Well, in short, it is a short story about a first love of a monster who hasn't fallen in love in a billion years. And this monster is going on a rampage. But Matsuoka-san, who looked like he was in pain the whole time, Matsuoka-san being the voice actor for Belle, did a great job. Ishigami-san and Hikasa-san, the VAs for Seer and Freya respectively, were amazing monsters. Thank you very much, is what he says. Jokes aside, I'm very happy that Seer's story, which has been ongoing since the first season of the anime, which is true, the mystery of Seer and Freya has been going on since the very first time we've seen her, has been able to find and end in such a wonderful way. I would also like to thank all the fans who have supported us up to this point. Please continue to support Danmachi. If you want to watch the 6th season of the anime, please ask Seer and Freya, who will charm the anime staff back to the top. Alright, first and foremost, Omori, you're wrong, we don't need season 6. No, but second of all, I get what he's trying to say. He's trying to explain, of course, the story of Seer and how he perceived it. I think a lot of people will have different perspectives of Seer and Freya as a whole, to be honest. A lot of people will still find Freya extremely evil. A lot of people will find Freya's and Seer's, by extension, situation understanding and a bit complicated, and find it a little bit more subjective in that sense. It's a very subjective thing. Obviously, your opinion on Freya and Seer, I feel like the thing with Danmachi I like a lot about is that every character is nuanced and has a very and can be very subjective and can be very their personalities can appeal to people in very different ways or make people dislike them in very different ways. You know, it's crazy to me that I go on to the Reddit and, I think on Reddit they're doing some sort of chart thing. I get it recommended when I'm looking up on like some computer stuff and everything. In my recommended For You page, I see Danmachi stuff as well. And I'm seeing like somebody's made this chart of like, characters that are good and, or characters that are loved by people and are naturally evil or something. I can't remember the exact thing. I'd have to check what the picture is, but it's like a chart basically, and people have been putting like images in there basically regularly in terms of the thing, right? Let me just find and see one of those pictures. 1 second. I'm gonna try and find it if possible right now so I can explain it, and I'm gonna share it with you guys here. Yes, there we go. As you guys can see, I mean, I'm putting it on my face cam right now. You guys can probably I don't think you guys can see. Actually, you guys can see. There you go. As you guys can see, that's what I'm talking about. So people have been doing that, and I've been seeing a lot of people talk about like Finn being like hated by fans and as a good person, hated by fans, morally gray, and so on and so forth. And I found it like that is true, and it's a weird thing because I think I thought Finn was a loved character for when, at least when I was playing Dan Mimo a lot, and I was talking to so many people about Danmachi, and it's weird to see so many people hating on Finn instead. It's weird. It's one of those weird things, but it's the same thing that Omori's talking about here, and he's trying to explain what he perceives of Freya, and it's quite nice to see, of course, what he thinks about Freya and how the story went, and his happiness with the way the story went. Of course, I know as fans we are a little bit more disappointed, if you want to call it that. I think disappointed is the right word here. We may as well say it the way it is. A lot of people are disappointed with the way the story has gone and the way season 5 unfolded, be it because of, you know, them cutting the stories, them feeling it's rushed, and so on and so forth, whatever it may be. Omori is happy with it, and he's glad the way the season's gone. Of course, to each their own, and he is the author of the story. But I have to disagree with him vehemently. We do not need season 6. I'd rather not get season 6. We do need other stuff as well. Let also the light novels carry forward a little bit. But more importantly, as fans of the series and just generally, you know, with the way the light novels are going and everything, we do need Sword of Ratoria, to be quite honest. If I'm really being serious right now, you know, I've been saying I don't mind a Stray Record, and to an extent I don't really mind a Stray Record being adapted. Don't mind Aegis Vesta being adapted. At the end of the day, more Danmachi stuff is good for me personally. I'm okay with that. But if I'm talking about it from a light novel fan's perspective, as somebody who wants my friends to, you know, my anime-only friends to enjoy Danmachi fully and get the full understanding of it, they need to do Sword of Ratoria. That's just my personal opinion. But anyways, let me know what you guys think, of course, of everything that was shown today, of course, right? Wasn't expecting all of these announcements and things to happen and pop off. But we will be there, of course, on April 4th to talk about what's to come for Danmachi. I'm very much looking forward to it. Of course, we are in the release week of Full Under Water and Light as well. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.